Hello there, and welcome to my living room. I'm Kathleen Hershner. I'm joined in the studio right now with a young man who likes to talk a lot and says that he has a lot of energy. In fact, one of his teachers at Vaughan Systems recommended that he come to the television show for me to interview him. And just in the couple of minutes of talking to him while we've been sitting here, I have decided that she was right, because he really does have a lot of energy, and there's a reason for that. Francisco Blasco, welcome to my living room.
Thank you very much.
You are an athletic enthusiast, so much so that you've decided to make it your choice of career.
That's true. I finished high school, and then I just wanted to do something related to sports.
Right.
And what could be better than join it with education?
So you decided to you're in the process of becoming a physical education teacher, or PE, as we say in the United States. We also call it phys ed. Phys, short for physical, ed, short for education. So normally people say, I'm a phys ed teacher, which sounds like its own word, but it's actually a high abbreviation. Yeah. But as I don't know you very well, I was trying to figure out, like, what do you like to do? What do we have in common? And we have a few things in common, but one of the things that is the most interesting for me is your interest in becoming a phys ed teacher, because my dad was a phys ed teacher in university.
Oh, really?
And he liked it. I mean, it was a great way, I think, for him to stay in shape, because if you're going to be a phys ed teacher, you have to keep yourself fit.
Yeah.
Because you're an example to your students. Do you feel that there's pressure for you to always be in shape? I'll ask that a different way. Do you like the fact that there is pressure on you to always be in good shape?
No, I just practice some sports, and that's the way I keep fit.
Because you enjoy it? Yeah,
I enjoy it. I used to practice judo because of the training days. I couldn't mix it with do it at the same time as football.
It takes a lot of it's a time commitment as well. The martial arts.
Very time demanding.
Yeah.
And I finished doing judo. I've got the black belt.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. Wait a second.
I don't know anything about martial arts. I just know enough to be dangerous.
Okay.
How long does it take to get a black belt?
It's taken me 12 years, maybe.
So you've been practicing judo since you were a little kid?
Yeah, that's true.
Because you're only 21 years old. Yeah. I mean, you're not, you've got a long career ahead of you, just a kid. Yeah, but I mean, I think most people that practice martial arts usually get into it when they're children, don't they? Yeah,
that's true. I started when I was 5 years old.
Wow.
There was an activity, judo was an activity in the school I went.
Yeah.
And my mom decided that I should go there.
Because you had too much energy.
Yeah.
You're like, we got to do something with this kid.
She didn't even know what to do with me. Yeah. So I started with judo at the age of 5, as I said before. And after that, when I grew up, I was 8, and she decided.
By the time you were 8, you were grown up.
By the time I was 8, yeah. She decided that I could also I could also play football in the school team, and that's what I did.
So we can thank your mom, really, for giving you this career opportunity of being a physical education teacher. Well, parents have a big influence on the activities that their children decide to go into. For instance, my mom could tell that I was musical, even though she was not, and so she introduced me to the world of playing the piano. I have her to thank for that, because I would not have probably done that on my own.
That's true. For example, my mom has made lots of things for me, and that might be the reason why I now speak English. For example,
really?
I went to an academy for many years, and I combined the timetable with judo, football, and the academy was 3 hours a week, apart from and then one match of football every Saturday. So I had a complete
So you had no free time, which is good. I'll bet, Francisco, that you did not get into trouble very much as a kid.
I don't like getting into trouble now.
Well, you don't have time to get into trouble. If you're balancing your busy work life at 8 years old between football practice, judo, and learning English, and you went to an academy for this English?
Yeah.
Okay, so it wasn't part of your school.
No, it wasn't.
Teaching, okay.
It wasn't.
But did you get to travel when you were a little kid to English-speaking countries? Did your mom take you, to England or something?
No. When I was 15, when I was 16, I traveled to London with my neighbor. She's my friend. And her aunt lives there in London, and she was 13. And
that your friend was 18?
No, she was 13.
Oh, your friend was 13, you were 16.
I was 16, yeah. And I went with her to London so that she doesn't go on the plane alone. Right?
So you're like a chaperone, a big brother type.
Yeah, we'll say that. But she's a friend, and then I stayed there for 10 days.
Yeah.
At Easter, yeah.
Did you feel excited to be able to practice your English with native English speakers?
Yeah, that's very true, yeah. I did, because I couldn't even use my Spanish, because none of them spoke it.
It's the same in the United States in many places. And people in the UK and people in the States, we don't really speak Spanish that much unless you go to certain areas.
That's true.
Yeah.
And you find it very difficult. Well, at least English-speaking people find it very difficult to learn Spanish. And it was so difficult to understand them, because they don't pronounce the T's. For example, instead of saying water, they say water. Water? Yeah.
You want a glass of water?
Yeah.
I think that's from London. That sort of...
And it was so confusing, all of that.
Or they overdo it, or they say, "Excuse me, would you like some water?"
That's true. That's very true.
And Americans probably are somewhere in between, water. We tend to take the T and make it into a D.
Yeah,
water.
Water, that's true.
Have you been to the United States?
No, not yet, but I plan to.
I'm sure you will at some point. Well, now, let me get back to this neighbor friend of yours. You went to England with her when she was 13, and you were 16.
Yeah.
And at that time, that seemed like a big difference in age.
Yeah.
Because she was just a little kid, I mean, to you.
I was as well, but...
But now you're still friends, and as you get older, what you probably have discovered is that as you get older, the difference in age diminishes. So that by the time you're my age, somebody who's like 5 years older or 5 years younger seems like they're in my same age group.
Vice versa.
Yeah. Is this the case with you and this friend of yours?
Yeah, in fact, she's very tall, right? Yeah. And when you see her, you think she's 25, and she's just now I'm 21. She's just 18 now. You think like,
nutrition.
Sorry.
Nutrition is to blame for that. We have like the age of giant people. Yeah. Because you have like good nutrition your whole life.
Yeah. And when we went out, we went to the disco. The guard asked me for the documents.
The bouncer?
Yes.
Yeah.
He asked me for the documents, and she passed without asking anything.
Really?
Without him asking her anything.
You know what we call that in English? We call that carding someone.
Carding someone.
Yeah. We take the noun, a card, and we turn it into a continuous verb, or actually a gerund, I think. You're carding someone. You're making them show their card. So you got carded, and she did not.
And she did not.
But maybe they wanted more girls in the club, because you know they do that sometimes.
Yeah.
If there are too many guys there, they want to balance the numbers.
Usually in Spain, some discos, the boys pay and the girls don't.
I don't think that's right. I think that is wrong. I remember when I first heard that from one of my friends, I was like, first of all, we don't have that in the United States. Women have to pay too. And I thought that's not fair, because then, like, the guys are making a personal investment to go out and meet other people and meet women, and the girls are just going because they don't have anything better to do, and it's free. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How do Spanish guys feel about that? I would, personally, Francisco, I would resent that if I was a Spanish guy.
Well, in my personal opinion, discos are not made for me, right? So when I go, it's because my friends go. When I go, it's because my friends go.
Yeah.
And then once you're in there, you just don't care of the money you have paid.
Yeah.
So you are there, you just don't worry.
And drinks are really expensive in discos.
Yes, well.
It's ridiculous.
10 euros for...
I've never liked discos. I didn't even like discos when I was your age, and that was the disco era. Yeah. I am a product of the late 70s, early 80s, the disco movement, Saturday Night Fever, all that stuff. That was happening as current events during my university days. And I hated the whole disco thing, the floors that had lights under them and the bad clothing and the stupid dancing. Anyway, I'm getting you off the subject, but let's get back to this thing about what you're doing now. You told me before we started that you are currently in a practicum.
Yeah.
Which we decided before we started the show is the same word as internship.
Yeah, exactly.
A practicum is a Latin word meaning to practice, I suppose. And an internship is the same thing in the United States. An internship is usually not paid. You do it after you finish your university education, which is what you're doing now.
Yeah, exactly. I had to pay indeed for...
You have to pay them.
It is a subject, one more subject of the...
So it's part of your university requirement?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And how does one do a practicum in physical education?
Yeah, that's
I mean,
it's
not like you're going to an office and, you know...
No, that's a very good question. We have to fill in a diary every day. We have to write what we do.
Yeah.
And then we design the lessons for each day.
The lesson plan.
Yeah, the lesson
make a
plan.
lesson plan.
Exactly. And apart from that, we do a research. In my personal case, I'm doing a research on what they eat.
So you're doing research on what the children eat?
Yeah.
I mean their diet.
Their diet, yeah, exactly. Because the moms are very comfy. They just buy the they just buy the meal and give them to them.
So when you say the moms are very comfy,
yeah,
that's cute. A cute word. They're comfortable, or it's a way of saying that the moms are maybe a little bit lazy.
Lazy, exactly.
A little bago, a little like buy the food. Hey, honey, you know, or the food that's ready to eat because it doesn't take as much time as preparing food, but it's not very healthy.
Yeah, that's what that is what I was going to say. It is not very healthy, and that's what I'm planning to do to improve these habits.
So as part of your practicum, are you at a school? Are you actually in a school every day?
Every day.
So you've paid to be there, and you're doing research on the nutrition of the kids. And also what? Teaching physical education stuff to them? Yeah,
there are several contents in physical education, and you have to prepare them for their age. For example, a 10-year-old kid is not the same as a 6-year-old kid.
Right.
Okay, and then I have to adapt them and change them the way that it's suitable for them. I take them from the rooms, and then take them into the playground, and there I just do a warm up with them. I tell them to do some tasks, and then we play something.
Like you do some stretches, maybe you do some sit-ups, or whatever is appropriate for that age.
Yeah.
So apparently you have to be very careful about what kind of activities you plan.
Yeah, exactly.
Because different age ranges or different age groups need to do different things. And I guess they probably also have a standard in the education system about where a child should be physically. I know we did in the States. I don't think this is anything new.
Well,
you had to be able to like do 10 sit-ups, or be able to complete 10 push-ups, or something like that.
Well, that's an old-fashioned PE,
yeah,
indeed.
Well, because I went to school a long time ago.
Now, you have a law, right, which determines the minimum
requirement.
The minimum requirement they've got to do, but not in this case, but in habits. For example, when they have to clean their hands after their lessons,
right,
and they have to feel confident with their own body and feel themselves. You have to work on the mind as well, not just the body.
Right.
It's just the world.
Well, and so physical education in the new age, as opposed to the dark age of my education, is more about like a whole body perspective. Hygiene, nutrition, self-confidence, mental health. It's not just about, like it was when I was in school, you know, how many pull-ups you can do, how many push-ups you can do. It was very focused on that at that time. But this link between nutrition that you've decided to investigate or do research into is interesting to me, because I'm very interested in nutrition as well. And this is a component that people forget about Or it's too easy to ignore it for most people, but it's so critical to a person's physical health. What do you think about the way young kids are eating? I mean, is it a lot different than how you ate when you were 6 and 10 years old?
Yeah, that's true. Well, I was lucky because my mom used to cook everything for me, and it was traditional meals from Spain. Yeah. But nowadays,
lots of vegetables, lots of fruit.
No, it's just a mixture.
Yeah, but I mean, the Spanish diet, the Mediterranean diet, has a lot of
salads,
everything.
Above all, salads, tomato, and so on. And nowadays, the mom and the dad work, both of them.
Right.
So they have no time for that, and they might buy the things in the supermarket, which are almost done. They just have to put the microwave on. Yeah. Turn it on, and it just
voila.
Voila! In 5 minutes, you go a very
So
nice
this is a problem. Well, I think most people know it's a problem of the changing roles in society. I mean, women now work. Back when I was a kid, a lot of women didn't work. A lot of my friends' moms stayed home and made lunch, and we used to go home for lunch. Do kids stay in school for lunch like they do in the United States? It's very common for children to spend the whole day at school.
Most of them, because as you said, society is changing. They stay in the school until it's for they don't pay too much for the meal.
No, it's subsidized by the government. There was a program. I don't know if you know about this, but if you don't, look into it, because it might be interesting for your research to read about these people. In the United States, about 2 months ago, a famous chef named Jamie Oliver. Have you ever heard of Jamie Oliver?
No,
he's a celebrity chef in the UK, and he's also on the Food Network channel, which is a big food channel in the United States, cooking shows and stuff like that. And a few months ago, I don't remember how long ago it started, he went into a small town in Oregon, which is a state in the United States, and wanted to conduct an experiment. He wanted to change the way the kids were eating in the school cafeteria, in this one school, and prove to the town, actually it wasn't in Oregon, it was on the East Coast. I'm trying to remember it as I'm talking to you, but it's on the East Coast in a city that did not have a very good rating for health. So he thought, well, I'm gonna go in as an experiment and change the diets of the kids who are eating lunch at school. And maybe if I can introduce them to foods that they like, they'll go home and ask their parents for these kinds of foods and gradually change the way people are eating. I don't think it succeeded, though, because the kids preferred the foods, the fast food that you were talking about. They preferred it, and it was kind of depressing, because when I first read about it, I was like, yeah, this is great. You know, they're going to solve this problem, but it's going to take something more than that, I think. What are your ideas about maybe ways that you could help kids eat better and want to eat better?
Maybe one point is they haven't tried the variety of the food they've got in front of them.
They need to experiment.
Yeah, so I might show them what they can eat, which is healthy. And as well, I am going to design these pyramids.
The food group pyramids, which need to be redesigned.
Yeah, it is inverted.
I think we have to flip it around.
It is inverted. And I am planning to design it in the art lessons, and then show them and create posters for the walls, so that they can see what they eat and tell the moms to prepare something better for the meal.
Well, maybe also, if I'm just thinking out loud here, if the situation, the social situation of the way people live and work isn't going to change, and I doubt if it's going to change, I don't think we're going to have a revolution where women go back to the home.
No, I
don't think so. So if that's not going to change, then maybe what we have to do is make it easy for people to feed their kids well, or to give them healthy and balanced diets. And so maybe the food manufacturers need to also be part of this new way of looking at nutrition, because the foods that parents want to buy that are easy to prepare are also high in sugar and fat and salt. So maybe part of your research could be with companies, with the food manufacturers in Spain, and try to get them to create more healthful meals.
Well, that's a big deal.
That's a big project.
Yeah.
You might have to go back to university and study marketing or product development.
Yeah. No, the thing is, I'm just going to be there for 2 months, so I haven't even got time.
Well, yeah, but I mean in your future, though.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it seems to me, Francisco, that you're well aware of the link between nutrition and physical fitness, not just health.
That's true.
And this is a big problem in the States. The United States of America has I think the most profound problem with obesity of any country in the world right now, which is it's just really scary.
Yeah, lots of junk food in.
Lots of junk food and no real national health care plan. Well, you know, we're trying, but we don't really have the same system that you have in Spain that will accommodate people who get sick, maybe because they haven't taken care of themselves or whatever. In the United States, that's not the case. If you don't take care of yourself, it's going to cost you a lot of money.
Yeah,
because you'll have to go to.
You've got to pay for your health.
Exactly.
If you want to go to the doctor.
Yeah, you do. I mean, you have insurance, but you only have insurance if you work. And if you don't work, if you're a person who's unemployed, the country will support you with a couple of programs, but not for very long. And it's not really the best case scenario. It's not. It's not ideal. Do you see yourself working as a physical education teacher for a while and then doing something else, or do you think that this is a career that you'd like to stay with for a long, long time?
That's a very good question.
It's my specialty.
Yeah. That's why you're here.
That's right. And you're here because you're a good talker.
That's why.
So tell me what you think.
Right. As I wanted to work in education, yes, of course. Education is part of my life.
Right.
Physical education is part of my life.
Right.
But I'm thinking of embracing all the subjects like Spanish, mathematics, science, English, but not music, because it is not my specialty.
Music's not your thing.
No.
So when you say embracing these other subjects, do you mean like continuing to learn about them on your own? Because you're
No, to teach them.
Oh, to teach them.
To teach them.
I see. So you're committed to education, and you're going to start out with physical education, but you'd like to also teach Spanish?
No. In primary school, you are supposed to be able to teach Spanish, maths, science, and PE. Well, which is your in this case, it's my specialty.
Okay, but you want to teach these other things as well.
Sorry?
You want to teach these other things as well.
Yeah, of course. It's
well,
part
the
of
variety would be nice.
Yeah.
I think that if you're a teacher and you're only teaching phys ed all day, I mean,
you will get bored.
After a couple of years, you're going to get bored with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my parents were both teachers. I don't know if you know this, but they were high school teachers. And high school teachers are a little bit different in the States in that you might teach one subject. You might be, my mom, for instance, Mrs. Burns, the English literature teacher. And so she would have classes come in and she'd just teach English all day long.
That's true.
And I always thought that would be kind of boring.
No, in primary school, in the Spanish system, it is mixed. You have to know any subject. Yeah. Because in one day the school needs you. Well, there's a vacancy, and you have to fill it in.
If somebody's sick, you might have to be a substitute.
Not in that case, but for the whole year. For example, one teacher has to go, and then they fill it in with you, right? For the whole year, you have to.
And the younger you are, the more you're used as a substitute.
Yeah, maybe.
So get ready for that, Francisco. They'll probably abuse you for a while, but you'll learn a lot too. Yeah. And I think you're gonna, after talking to you for 25 minutes, I think I've decided you're gonna be a really good teacher. Yeah, you have a lot of the qualities I think that would make you a good teacher.
Well, I think that I'm not afraid of speaking in public.
Clearly not.
Yeah, no.
We're out of time, and you've done a great job of speaking in English with me in my living room, so I want to thank you for coming, and thank your teacher, the one that recommended you come to TV for me.
Okay, thank you very much. I will tell her.
Francisco Blasco, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
And thank you for tuning in to another conversation here in my living room. I'll be back with more interesting people with you very soon. So, hasta luego. Bye-bye.